Hi everybody, I'm Matthias V2, and this is Time to Cook. Now, today I'm going to be explaining to you some of the basics of cooking, and we're going to make lime garlic chicken, which is going to be so good, like out of this world. Alright, now, what do you all think is the first step to cooking? Think it's spices? Getting your ingredients ready? I don't think so. First step is to wash your dirty hands. And when you're washing your hands, it's not just normal washing your hands like you do every day. You want to get your hands nice and wet and get under your fingernails, in between your fingers, and come up to your wrists, because you never know where food's going to be. You want to get your hands nice and clean. Washing your hands should, for a chef, last about 30 seconds. Alright, now we're going to want to get these nice and dry because all that bacteria is still in the water. Alright, there we go. Now we can move on to the ingredients. Now, what I've got here is this first slice here. This is paprika. We've got 1/8 of a teaspoon of this and our onion powder. Also, we have 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt, 1/4 of a teaspoon of black pepper. We have 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder and 1/4 teaspoon of dried parsley. Now, when you're using dried herbs like this, you're going to want to use a ratio of 3 to 1. Now, that means if you're using fresh herbs like this, which is lime thyme or lemon thyme, you're going to want to use 3 times as much fresh herbs as you would use of the dried herbs, because the dried have much more, a much more defined flavor. What we also have is some cayenne pepper, and the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to mix all this up, make ourselves a little rub here. I'm just going to use the best tools in the kitchen, my hands. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? Now here we have 4 extremely huge chicken breasts. I actually don't know why they're this big. What we're going to want to do is we're going to take all of our rub and just rub it up on these breasts. You're going to want them good and seasoned. Now, before we start rubbing our chicken with the rub, which I didn't think to do because I'm stupid, is we're going to want to turn on the burner, which we have 2 tablespoons of butter and 1 tablespoon of oil in. We're probably going to want to keep that about medium heat if you're on an electric stove like we are, but if you have a gas stove, you're probably going to want to keep it a little below medium, 5 or 4, or whatever the settings are. Alright, so we're just going to get this nice and rubbed up, and then we're going to go ahead and start cooking the chicken. Alright everybody, now that we have our chicken rubbed with our garlic powder and herb mixture, what we're going to do is we're going to let the pan heat up as we talk a little bit about mise en place. Now, for anybody out there who doesn't know, mise en place is a French word for everything in place. Now, what we have set up here is, this is mise en place. We have our chicken here ready to cook. We have our pan, the destination for the chicken, which is, of course, the plate. We also have extra garlic powder and lime juice, which we're going to use to as a little sauce to pour on the chicken when it's done. And the reason for mise en place is because you don't want to be rushing around the kitchen looking in all the cabinets for your stuff while you're trying to cook food. It's a pretty stupid idea. So the mise en place keeps everything organized, and if you try to clean up while you're going, it'll make everything so much easier. Now let's get on to the cooking. Alright everybody, let's cook. Now, we don't want to overcrowd the pan here, so if you have really huge pieces of chicken like this, we're only going to want to put in about 2 at a time. And be careful here because the butter and oil is very hot, so lay the chicken down away from you.
What, no meow, nothing? The worst the family if someone's coming?
Alright, now that we've got the chicken cooking, we're going to let it get nice and white on all sides, and that's how we're going to know it's done. We're going to want to let it come up about 1/4 inch. Alright everybody, the chicken looks like it's getting done. Here, can you check that out for me? Yeah, you see how the edges are nice and white? Alright, now we're just going to flip that over. I'll probably need a fork. See, that's why mise en place helps. I should have had a fork out. Oh yes, that's beautiful. Come look at this. Oh. And it is just too bad they haven't invented smell-o-vision, because this is great. Alright everybody, I think it's time to check the chicken. Be careful with your knife. Now, like I said before, you're going to want to cut into the thickest part of the chicken. And be careful when you push down, the butter and oil is probably going to want to pop out on you. Let's see in there. I think that looks done, don't you think? Okay, pull this out. Oh yeah, it's beautiful. Now, you got to check every piece of chicken, because every piece of chicken is different. Although sometimes they aren't different. This one's done too. Alright, cool. And next up, we're going to make the sauce. Alright, now that all of our chicken is cooked, we are going to remove the pan and all of the chicken drippings and the herbs and stuff. And what we're going to do is we're going to put in our 2 teaspoons of garlic powder and our lime juice, which is why we moved it off the heat. Now you're going to want to get in here and whisk this as much as possible. Now what this is called is we're deglazing the pan right now, and we're making ourselves a little sauce to go on top of the chicken. Now you want to keep stirring this or it'll burn. And burn sauce, that's not good. Alright, now, plating. This is an extremely important part of cooking. Because, as many great chefs say, you eat with your eyes first. Remember, eyes first, then tongue. Now, I've got the sauce here, which is just the chicken fat, and our lime juice, and garlic powder. Now I'm going to take a normal soup spoon, serving spoon, whatever, dip out a little sauce, and just drizzle it on. Now what you want to remember here is that the edge of the plate is no man's land, and if you drip any sauce on the edge, you're going to want to wipe that off with a paper towel pretty soon. And of course, another important part is the garnish. I've just got a couple of chives here, and you're going to want to stick these up like that. Looks pretty. Oh, wait a second. There. Now it looks pretty. That is our garlic lime chicken. I'll see you next time on the Matthias V2. Later.